this past Monday was amongst the worst. How bad must that product be for people, for the 130,000 that usually watch, the 145,000 that usually watch, to say, I'm good. On a Monday following the Super Bowl. No Super Bowl to compete with, no college football playoff to compete with. You guys have an open Monday. And the ratings that you drew?
Just 110,000 viewers. That's the total audience unrivaled pulled in this past Monday, February 9th. Take a second and really sit with that number. Before you shrug it off as just another average rating or a slow night on TV, you need to understand the context, because once you see the bigger picture, that figure stops looking ordinary and starts looking deeply troubling.
The CBA deal and, we're making some movement. Fans are even getting tired of that. Stop giving us your updates and start making some progress. Fans are saying that right now. Yeah, we've heard this before, but is a deal gonna get done? Fans are saying that right now. And if you feel that way, let me know what you think in the comment section below.
Get this, the TV rating system couldn't even properly categorize the broadcast because the numbers were so small. In the key 18 to 49 demographic, the rating came in at 0.02 or even lower, which in television terms is basically a rounding error. That column showing viewers in the millions? For this broadcast, it was marked not applicable because the audience wasn't even close to cracking the chart.
Our recent CBA proposal that we got, there's movement, there's traction, we're finally headed in a direction, so I'm excited. A little late for our first, quote, momentum. No wonder Angel went back to him. Let me know when they actually sign it. I'm over the reports of potentially, possibly, maybe. The owner recognized what the players do not. There would be no surge in viewership without Caitlin Clark. For the billionaire owners, this is about dominance and control over women. Owners can survive a strike just fine. This is about showing who is boss and who is powerless. I don't think
that's the category you end up in when your viewership is so catastrophically low that the standard industry metrics don't even have a template to measure it. Remember, this is the league that was supposed to revolutionize women's basketball, the groundbreaking product that landed a major deal with TNT and HBO to change the game.
Tired of the WNBA Players Association. Now, this is Breanna Stewart's comments in totality. Let's see if I can play this real quick.
The league. So I think that call was great, just from being able to hear the perspective of both sides, from the league side, from the player side, and what we want. So our recent CBA proposal that we got, there's movement, there's like traction. We're finally like headed in a direction. So I'm excited to hopefully negotiate back.
Right.
And, really kind of.
And yet, in a twist that's almost painful to watch, the league is currently being outbrawn by reruns of Friends. Think about that. A sitcom that ended 2 decades ago is pulling in more viewers than live professional sports featuring some of the best athletes in the world. Now, let's get to the heart of this mess. Breanna Stewart has been making the media rounds lately, talking a big game about momentum in the CBA negotiations. She's projecting optimism, telling everyone she's excited about where things are headed, but the reality behind the scenes is far more complicated.
On December 18th, the union voted to authorize calling a strike when necessary, and some voices around the league wondered if the time was drawing near. Breanna Turner, activist Breanna Turner, quote, "I feel like it's not imminent at this point. It's still early February, like we're still going, so I feel like we're still in a waiting game at the moment." Holy shit. Can you use the word like any more times? Folks, I gotta be honest. I might have lost brain cells reading that aloud. I may have lost brain cells. Here, you guys are gonna hear me say it one more time and tell me you didn't lose any brain cells. I feel like it's not imminent at this point. It's still early February, like we're still going. So I feel like we're still in a way.
According to her, there's real progress happening behind the scenes. She says traction is building, and after months of stagnation, things are finally moving in a positive direction, something that should give everyone hope. But the fans aren't buying it. They've heard this story before. 18 months into these negotiations, the WNBA Players Association is still selling hope and vague promises instead of delivering tangible results that actually secure the league's future. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is back playing an unrivaled, presumably because she knows a WNBA paycheck isn't coming anytime soon if this lockout continues. The gap between what union leadership is telling the public and what's actually happening on the ground has never been clearer or more concerning.
Talking about how would a lost WNBA paycheck affect you? It would impact me immensely. It's my job, so it would be a big deal. Money is money. I would love my paycheck. On a scale of 1 to 10, how anxious are you about negotiations? The players expressed uncertainty about the possibility of playing a full WNBA season. That didn't translate to significant anxiety.
Here's why the unrivaled situation is especially damaging for the players right now. This past Monday was a golden opportunity. No competing events, no Super Bowl, no college football playoffs hogging the airwaves. They had an open Monday night on TNT, one of the country's most established sports networks. And yet, despite having a clear runway, they still couldn't deliver meaningful viewership numbers. It wasn't just a miss. It was a complete failure on a night that should have been an easy win. The 1-versus-1 tournament kicked off this week, which should have been a major ratings draw since that format generated the highest numbers all of last season. Add Angel Reese networks like HBO may decide it's more financially sensible to put the product behind the HBO Max paywall rather than premium cable because the return on investment for broadcast airtime simply isn't there right now. And here's the reality on negotiations. Breanna Stewart. The owners haven't been stonewalling on the money. They've been willing to discuss salaries, increase figures, and add meaningful benefits. We've seen firm commitments to charter flights, upgraded facilities to professional standards, and expanded rosters so more players get opportunities. The owners have shown genuine flexibility and a willingness to improve conditions. What we haven't seen, even once, is the WNBA Players Association move from their rigid stance. They planted their flag and haven't budged an inch. That's not negotiation. It's one side making immovable demands while the other side desperately searches for compromise. And now the situation has become even more volatile. The players have voted to authorize a strike. By doing this, they've effectively handed all their leverage over to the executive committee and rank-and-file players, many of whom are genuinely concerned about missing paychecks and paying bills. The union leadership no longer has the direct power. They've handed it away. An ESPN survey of players about the negotiations paints a concerning picture for the league's future. One player said, "I feel like it's not imminent at this point. It's still early February, so I feel like we're still in a waiting game at the moment. It sounds less like a strategic labor movement and more like confusion about the timeline and the urgency of the situation." Another player admitted, "I feel like we're asking for a lot. I know we deserve it, but at the same time, it's kind of like we're getting greedy. We're doing a lot of asking. I feel like we need to do a lot of doing." These quotes provide a rare inside look at the locker room, and they sharply contrast with the unified, confident front the leadership projects publicly. Read them carefully. The tone says everything. This is how professional athletes are thinking and communicating about the most important negotiation of their careers. The repeated use of the word, like in player statements, signals uncertainty and a lack of confidence. There's real hesitation about whether they are being greedy and an open admission that they've been doing a lot of asking without taking concrete action. When asked about their anxiety over the negotiations, the average response was a shocking 3.2 out of 10. They simply aren't worried. That very lack of concern may actually be part of the problem. Then there's Brianna Turner, the Unrivaled. Unrivaled was meant to be a game changer. It was supposed to show that women's basketball could thrive in the off-season and draw big audiences on its own. It was supposed to prove that the players had leverage in negotiations. Instead, it's showing the opposite. Getting only 110,000 viewers on a major cable network isn't proof of a booming market, it's a warning. It suggests the audience for women's basketball may be smaller than the Players Association hopes. And that directly affects what WNBA owners are willing to offer. They aren't being difficult just to be difficult. They are looking at real numbers, revenue projections, and what the market can actually support. When the premier off-season league, with its biggest stars, can't even reach 200,000 viewers on TNT, it changes the financial calculations significantly. Does that mean the players don't deserve better pay? Absolutely not. The WNBA has grown. Caitlin Clark's rookie season brought huge attention and energy. Attendance is up, merchandise sales are booming, and the players have a strong case to share in that success. But there's a difference between claiming a fair share of actual revenue and demanding a cut of projected revenue that may never come. The Players Association has been pushing for revenue sharing based on very optimistic projections. Owners, seeing these low viewership numbers, think those expectations aren't realistic. And that's where the negotiations get really tricky.